Hello everyone, VegasVic1965. We are on the AP Vanilla server, part of Adults Craft, one of their 4 servers. And this week's video is going to be on the trading hall you see behind me. It's what I use for my zombie villager conversion. I've had a number of requests from the community to do a build on these. So, without further ado, let's find out. Welcome back everyone, VegasVic1965, and this is what we are going to be building. That's the trading hall that I have that I also use for the zombie villager conversion. If you've seen that video, we're going to go over that now, and I'll try and go through it as quickly as possible to make it as painless as possible. First off, you'll have your platform, which is a 11 by 19 in length and 11 wide. Once you have that built, now you can build it a couple levels high or on the ground. It is totally up to you. The next part of this is going to be, of course, the walls, and I've left a section out here so we can show you, including the first one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks up, and you can use the building block of your choice. Down below, it's always going to be the same. We'll come to the inside. This will go all the way around. We'll add some glass blocks, and the reason I use glass blocks on this is because we are, for the zombie villager conversion, we actually take that out. Take one of the blocks that you use here and a glass block out here to let the zombie in, and we put a trapdoor here, which I'll show you shortly. So once you have that section built, you'll build it the rest of the way up. So you'll have 2 blocks above the glass blocks, as you can see here, and that will complete that. And that second one above that will give you the roof. So it gives you a little room to add some aesthetics to the build. So that is what you're going to see on the outside. As far as the trim and the glamour, it is totally up to you. I do usually use a staircase, but I usually have it built up several blocks high. That one's on close to the ground. Once you have your walls in, again, we said that was 6 high. So this is also going to be 6 high, but you're going to go 2 high with 2 glass blocks, and then 2 again, and this will of course be the floor. And that's what we'll work on our next section, which will be the second floor. And it is going to house 12 villagers below. It'll house 12 villagers above. So let me add a few more things, and I'll go over those with you so you can see it. Like I said, I'm going to make it as quick and painless as possible. Be right back. Okay, now working on our second floor, we're going to come to where the roof was at, and we are going to go 5 blocks up from there. So there's our roof. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to surround it, of course, with the block of your choice. And in the second block up, we're going to add our 4 glass blocks here, 4 glass blocks there. And then what you will do is every second block, I didn't show you below, you leave 2 open for glass, and then you'll add 2 more here, just like this. Skip 2, 2, skip 2. And there you have 2. And then you'll add your glass blocks all the way around. And just to let you know, the materials you'll need for this will be exactly 64 glass blocks below on the first floor and 64 glass blocks here, the building block of your choice, of course, for these other blocks. And if you wanted to, you could go an additional block higher to give them more room, because eventually this roof is going to be a little bit higher. We must remember, especially on the first floor, we're no problem, but the second floor, we do not want lightning strikes depending on where you build this. If you're building it in the desert, you're not going to have that problem. But if you're building it anywhere else and you get a lightning storm, there's a good chance that if they don't have 3 blocks of airspace above them, that if the lightning strike hits one of these blocks that's within those 3 blocks, in other words, you can see here right now he does not have it because he's standing about 2 blocks tall. So we need 3 blocks of airspace, 1, 2, and this block, and we're going to have more blocks above this because we do need to do a similar roof to what you see over there, and that'll give us the space we need. So if lightning does strike, for example, one of these blocks here, there's plenty of space so the villager or any other villagers surrounding that villager won't get turned into witches, and that's something we need to be really, really careful about. So let me finish this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I went ahead and finished the second floor in there. We're going to go and take a look at it, and you'll see what I mean. And I'll also separate them up so you can see exactly why this works the way it does, holding 12 villagers on each floor. So if we add our dividers here, and I give them 4 blocks of space in here to work with. So I come out 3, and I go over 2. And I'll do that all the way across. and separate them up by that center so-called column. And I'll have these all separated up, so each one of these guys will have their own little space to walk around in. And I like it open so they have a chance to, a little more civilized. Let them give a chance to talk, to grunt to each other, I guess you could say. And I also when they're adults, I don't put this slab there until they are adults. And the reason I do that is I don't want the baby to grow up and smother himself in here. So after they've turned into adults, then I'll go around and I'll add these slabs in. And the reason I add these slabs in, it makes it a lot easier when you're cycling through, for example, librarian trades, that you can drop a workstation down and they will not bother you by getting in the way and jumping on it or getting in front of you, because you can stand over right next to it and do your cycling trade. You can't move in and he can't move in. So you can keep going back and forth, breaking and resetting until you get the trade that you like. So that's what I do for the inside. So that holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and also 6 on this side, and gives you plenty of room on the inside. Same thing on the bottom floor. Now these are optional. You can choose to add these if you like. They're little balconies. I like them, especially if you have a real scenic view of some place that you wanted to build this at. And of course, I also have protected areas here because I don't want any zombies or any bad guys getting in, pillagers or anything like that, killing the villagers, especially when you spent so much time cycling through your librarians. You don't want to get killed off. Make sure you do light this up really well. And I know I've got a torch in here, and we're going to go over the roof in just a moment. I usually set torches. Let me go back to the upper floor and show you what I mean. When I have these set in there, I'll usually set torches back on these back walls, or you can use any other kind of lighting source that you want. But by having that, now I'm also going to be using a carpet. Every other space that if you've seen my past videos when I've cycled through the villagers, you'll see that I set a carpet here. I'll skip one, set a carpet here, skip another, and then that way you can get in and out, but they cannot. And of course, I'll add more torches in here, and that's usually every third block. I want to make sure there's plenty of light in here. Just remember, if you haven't seen my lighting video, please take a look at it. I'll put a link in the description below. It's the light levels. You want to make sure your light levels in any of these spaces are 8 or above. You do not want 7, because if you happen to be 24 blocks away from this, there's a chance that something will spawn if the light level is 7 or less. And if a zombie spawns into one of these spaces and kills your villager, well, there you go. Unless it's intended, like we're going to do with the zombie conversion. So about every 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, the 4th space over, I'll add a torch, and a torch, and you're usually pretty good to go. So now let's work on the roof. Now here's something for you to know, really important for you to know, is if you have your game is set, or the server you play on has fire tick that is on, that means if lightning does strike a wooden structure, there's a very, very good chance, and probably will happen, that it will catch on fire and it can start burning a lot of the things there. But lightning strikes straight down, so you don't have to worry about any of these sections. So what we need to worry about is the upper section. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use stone, like you see over there, for a roof. And I'll usually go up about maybe 3 or 4, and I'll start down here at the bottom first, and I'll work my way across. We'll build a few sections of that up, just like you see here, and as you come around, it'll come around with you, just like that. As you see, it'll make the turn. There we go. It'll make that turn for you. And if, like I said, if your fire tick is on, then definitely you want to have some sort of stone, something that is not going to catch on fire. I believe the nether blocks, like the crimson and the warped wood, does not. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody let me know down in the comments, but I have heard that the crimson does not catch on fire, which is great if you want to use that for a roof. But if anything else, if you have fire tick on in your server and lightning strikes, it's going to burn. So make sure you're using stone. If fire tick is off, then you can use whatever type of wood you'd like to use for that roof. So let me finish the roof section off. I'll show you how many we've gone up, and then we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back, and I want to show you that I went up 3. So you can see here is 1, 2, 3. So you will need to add one more set of whatever blocks you're using in that section. And then what you want to do, now you can go up an additional if you like, or you can just leave it alone. It's up to you. I myself am going to save myself some blocks, but you want to put a slab in here because this is now spawnable unless you put lights on it. And of course, if you have fire tick on, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, it will catch on fire if lightning strikes. So I'm going to add stone slabs in here. and I'll complete that all the way around. So you want to do that all the way through here, and that'll protect your building in case lightning does strike, so it won't catch on fire. You'd finish that whole thing, and now that you have bottom half slabs there, nothing will spawn on your roof, and you'll be perfectly safe. And of course, we know nothing spawns on these stairs. So we move to the next part, and we'll be right back. Okay, the next part of this is going to be for the zombie villager conversion part. If you want to just stop right here and just do the trading hall, you're all set. If you want to move on, then continue watching. This is going to be the additional blocks and additional build that you will need to do the zombie villager conversion with no redstone at all. As you know that we can't jump over fences, and neither can the mobs, but if we have a carpet there, we are able to jump over top of that. So we're going to be using that mechanic to keep our zombies where we need them to be. So if you look at this build, you'll see I've gone out from our original little balcony or walkway or entrance that we have, and we're going to go out 3 blocks, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go up 1 level and 1, 2, 3, and we're going to be adding in these fences all along here, and anywhere you like, you can add a carpet in there. As you can see, I added one in the corner. So like in the back of my build, if this was the front, then in the back of my build, I would eventually leave 1 or 2 zombies. Could be 1 zombie on this side and 1 zombie on the other side, or whenever I need them. Unlike the regular zombies that are, unlike the zombie conversion units that other people have made in the past that require redstone, you're going to need to either have them holding something to keep that zombie around, or name tag them. With this one here, you can do the same thing. You can name tag them if you want, or you can give them something like me personally, I usually try and find one that will pick up a sword. It makes conversions a lot faster, but you must remember, and I want to make sure I point this out, if you're playing on easy mode on a server or a single player, then your zombie conversions will not work. Those zombies will kill those villagers outright. They will not be converted to zombie villagers. If you're playing on normal, then there's a 50-50 chance that they're going to die. And so that will not work. But if you're playing on hard mode, then this section here, or any zombie villager conversion unit that you use, will work 100% of the time, provided again that it's on hard mode. It must be on hard mode, because if a zombie like I usually use holding a sword, if I get them from the wild and they're unable to pick up a weapon to use, or a piece of rotten flesh or whatever you throw down, if they don't pick it up, then obviously that's not the zombie that you want, because he's just going to disappear unless you name tag him. And this will save you some levels, because you're obviously going to have to buy a name tag to name tag them. But if you can give them something, drop it on the ground, they pick it up, they will not despawn. So if you want to throw them a bone or whatever, but like I said, I use a sword. Usually it's going to be like an iron sword, a stone sword, or if you've got a lot of diamond swords sitting around, toss them a diamond sword. This makes the conversions all that much quicker. So back to the build. You'll see I'll put a carpet in here. Again, this is going to be 3 wide. Each section is going to be 3 wide. And what that enables you to do is to jump up onto those carpets. So as we continue this along, we are going to divide this up between 2 sections. You don't have to. You can run this one whole length and let the zombie work his way through each and every villager. But a lot of times I end up doing it just in 2s, 2 at a time. So my example would be, I would set something up here, because I'm going to take out this block and that block. I'll take out this block and that block. And on the inside, I'm going to have myself a villager inside there, of course, and I'll have him standing on that trapdoor. I'll set the trapdoor down first. Now, for your bedrock users, this will also work. The height is exactly the same. The villagers can't get through that space. So if they're standing inside here, they can't get out. We can. And the zombie cannot get in because of that trapdoor. So as they're stuck in this little place right here, we'll put our fence gate right there, and that's how I do it every 2. And I'll take those out, and then I'll just open the gates like this, and I'll wait for the zombie to follow me down. I'll close that gate, and I'll come around here, and I'll close that gate, and now he's ready to go inside. Oh, got to remember our trapdoor on that one too. He can go inside where the villager will be trapped, and he will hit him. And if you've got a sword, it'll make it all that much quicker. Now on the inside of the build, what I will do is, once the village, you're going to have your workstation depending on where you set it up at. Like for example, we set it here. We could pick any workstation. Let's say for example that's a barrel or a lectern, just for all intents and purposes. When they get over on top of that trap door, what I do is I'll drop down temporary fences in here, and they're trapped in that spot and they cannot move. And so I can either add more fences here, which I usually do, because if the zombie sees you, he will be fixated on you and he will ignore the villager. So you don't want him to see you. So as you drop down here, he'll focus back on the villager, he'll kill the villager, turning him into a zombie villager, and you'll be all set. So that's the build for the zombie villager conversion section of this build. And you will build the same section all the way around, doing it in twos. As you can see, we have the fences where they cannot get over. And for example, in here, I would set a carpet there. I can get out, the zombie can't in case he chases me in here. So then you can work your way around and get that zombie to follow you. So that's a simple section right in here. And you'd continue that same thing all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, same here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you wanted to, you can also put fences on the back like I usually do, because I may be busy working and I accidentally will walk backwards and fall off that. So that way, if I'm back here, I won't fall off. Okay, now you're going to take a look. We just looked at what we did in the bottom. You're also going to do the exact same thing on top. That's going to be at the floor level, come out 3, up and out 3, just like we did below. It's going to be exactly the same. Add your carpet pieces in, and I gave you a little better illustration of how those villages will look when you're ready to do a zombie village conversion. When you're ready and you've got the conversions, like for example, our librarians, we're going to do 2. As you can see, they cannot get past there because they're on trapdoors, and I'll wait until they walk on them. They only have a little bit of space, and once you open those blocks or take those blocks, the glass block and whatever building block you used, they're going to see an opening there. They're going to go towards it. So it's going to be relatively easy to block them in so you can be ready for a conversion. So as you can see down here, I've added more blocks. When the zombie comes in, he will not see me. He will go after the villager. He cannot get through, but the zombie the villager can't come out, but he will go in and get stuck right here, attack the villager, turning him into a zombie villager. Again, on hard mode. So this is identical below. The one thing I wanted to mention was, because we have a roof of this one above that, you want to make sure you also have a roof up here. Otherwise, your zombie is going to burn up. So don't forget that. And if you're, of course, if you're playing with fire tick on, use stone so your building does not catch on fire. As you can see, I'm using a half slab, and that's just the bottom part of the stairs and bringing that out just like that. Just enough to cover it up to where the zombie doesn't get burned up. You don't have to cover your own, but I usually do, because if there's a lightning strike and I'm busy doing this, I don't want to be interrupted. Okay, we are back on the AP Vanilla server, one of the 4 Adults Craft servers that I play on. I'll post that link right here so you can see how you can join us on Discord, or even fill out an application for Season 3, which is coming up very soon. If you would like to play and you're 18 years of age and or older, then feel free to fill out an application if you want to join us here. You don't have to be a content creator. We take both content creators and non-content creators, but it's a lot of fun. Great group of people, great group of adults. But anyway, getting back to this, I'll show you what I have. Now I have myself my zombie here that I've used, and I probably won't be using him again for a while, but that's an example. He cannot get over that, but I can. And when I need to, that's some stairs to get up and down. You can block those off. For example, you can use a staircase to get these guys up and down any way you like. You can put them on the sides, in the front, wherever you feel comfortable. But this is the full build of the trading hall that I have, and inside I'll show you some of the prices I've gotten from these guys. He just has an iron sword. I think down below where I have my clerics over there that you see, my zombie piglin farm, I have a zombie villager that actually has a diamond sword. Now the way I use to get up and down is just a ladder here from one section to the next. It's completely up to you how you want to go. You can use a staircase on the side if you like. I just find it's easier if I'm using the zombie villager conversion unit. It's easy. I find it easier to do this from the inside, going up and down. And if you take a look at the prices, this is just 2 conversions for this guy. As you can see, these are great prices. Diamond tools for 1 emerald, you can't beat that. So if you like the trading hall, go ahead and build it like that. If you want to add the additional zombification or the zombie villager part of this, go right ahead. Again, if you're playing on hard mode, if you're playing on easy or normal, I would not suggest it, especially on easy mode. You will definitely not get any zombified villagers and get those great prices. It just won't work. And if you're playing on normal, this can still be done. You can build the trading hall like I showed you, that it will house 12 villagers down and 12 villagers up. And if you happen to run into some zombie villagers out there, because there is a 5% chance if a zombie is able to spawn in an area that you happen to be around, in other words, the conditions are correct, there is a 5% chance that that could be a zombie villager. And if that's the case, if you can trap him, then cure him, you will get those prices even on easy mode, so you can have better prices. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to convert him anymore, and some of these villagers do take a few more conversions to get the better prices, but some of these just take 2 or even 1 to get what you need to have done. I'll show you another example that I use for my farmers here. I always go with the potato and carrot farm. Now, I didn't that one, and the reason I kept him because I wanted bread for breeding, so it made it a lot easier, but I always want to make sure that they have a pumpkin and melon trade. Some of them will have an apple trade. I usually send them back to the factory because it doesn't help me, but the potatoes and carrots, when you use a fortune pickaxe like I have here, Fortune 3, will yield you a lot more carrots and potatoes when you're harvesting those. Some of you may have known that, some of you may not have. But once you do a zombie conversion like this one here was only 2 zombie villager conversions, I got my pumpkins and melons down to 1, and that is permanent. So you can imagine how many emeralds I can make and the experience I get by trading these guys when I need something repaired or taken care of. And you can see I need to repair my elytra. But anyway, that's the farmers. I pretty much convert almost every single one of my villagers. Another good way, last week's video I had the mason, and the mason villager, one of their great trades would have been the stone trade. If you probably 2 conversions on them, and you'd be able to trade the stone for just 1 emerald, 1 stone for 1 emerald. That's a great way to make emeralds and also experience. So if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to subscribe for past or future videos, click that subscribe button. Subscribing costs absolutely nothing, but lets me know I provide great quality content for you guys each and every week. If you have any questions for me, leave them down below. I always answer my questions and always help you guys out as best I possibly can. So until next week's video, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.